Namaste, Soul Circle!
I'm Candace.
And I'm Steven, and we're from Arcana Mind Body Spirit, located in Toronto, Canada.
On today's episode, we will be discussing the 4 elements, specifically the element of air.
The 4 elements have a deep and rich history throughout many religions, cultures, and spiritual practices. For example, the 4 directions of indigenous cultures, anything with pagan origins, Buddhism and the 4 noble truths, and even Judaism, which speaks of the 4 worlds. Scientists and philosophers would come to agree that our very existence is made up of these essential elements: air, fire, water, and earth.
The sky, the stars, the trees, animals, and us humans are all a balanced part of these elements. And even though we are all different from each other, we are essentially connected through this universal tie, the elements. So let's talk about air and find out how this particular element plays a role in who you are and the way you navigate through your life and relationships.
This is great foundational knowledge for anyone looking to discover more about working with any metaphysical tools. So make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and follow buttons below so that you can keep up with all 4 of the elemental videos, as well as any other video that Arcana Mind Body Spirit is going to be working on, so that you can use all that is within the realms of the metaphysical and self-growth. Let's get to this, shall we?
Let's. Understanding the elements and how they play a role in our behaviors, the way we think and react emotionally, we can start to navigate our environments and our relationships differently, or more effectively, if you will. This is because your personality is ruled over the dominant elements within your natal chart. Even a lack of an element in your chart is telling to specific and varied parts of who you are, what you do and why, and even what you should be doing and why.
Yeah, each element brings balance to the next. For example, earth loved being quenched by water, and fire needs air to really grow. But sometimes fire needs water or earth to ground and slow down and be quiet. Whereas someone with a lot of earth might need some fire and air to shake things up. Sometimes you need to break that routine and embrace change. This might all sound a little weird right now, but we promise by the time you finish all the elemental videos, you will understand this.
Also, we are always available to further help you understand the elements and how they play a role in your life by doing your natal chart. So please contact us on our website, www.arcanamindbodyspirit.com, or email us at info@arcanamindbodyspirit.com and get your personalized natal chart done. You won't be disappointed.
No.
It's a huge eye-opener and game changer. Who doesn't want to know more about how they can live their best and fullest life?
So, speaking of the element air specifically, if we were talking about zodiac signs, this would encompass Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius.
So let's go through some various themes and keywords and explanations that correlate with the element of air.
Yeah, so let's talk strength, shall we? Everything. Oh boy. Okay, now so
here we go.
Communication. Intellect, we're usually very independent. We can be a little bit talkative. If you've seen any of our previous videos, you'd notice that me being the double air sign that I am, I give really great information that all of our viewers like to hear.
He loves the sound of his own voice. Loves it.
All that said, air signs know how to tell a story. They also ask a lot of questions, wanting to know as much as possible about any given topic. And air signs are generally pretty entertaining, as in they know how to hold the attention of all those around them.
Yes, they like to get things done, and it's usually done pretty quickly. None of this lollygagging business. Nuh-uh. They got a clear end in sight to whatever the task may be. Air signs are also known to be good teachers because they're natural communicators. be in expressing or processing and then expressing via nonverbal behavior as well. That also counts. Not all the air signs are Gemini, okay?
Right.
Nonverbal, yeah, sure. They're also non-conforming and walk to their own beat of the drum. I think that's how the saying goes.
I don't know, I was thinking about myself.
So let's move on to weaknesses, shall we?
Okay.
Yeah.
So with all of these thoughts flowing and a plethora of information, air signs have been known to suffer from indecisiveness. We sometimes find that we have no idea what we want in life because we simply just can't decide. It's so easy to change an air sign's mind with so many known options. Oftentimes with all these thoughts and info, it may stifle their ability to make lasting and in-depth connections with others on an emotional level.
This is why it's so important to utilize the other elements for air signs and people with a lot of air in their chart. They need to root themselves and stay grounded. Therefore, connect with someone who has a lot of earth and do as they do. Even use some tools related to the element of earth. So stay tuned to our channel, Arcana Mind Body Spirit, and you can learn all about earth, fire, and water as well to help you if you've got a lot of air in your chart.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about chakra system, shall we? The element of air is associated with your heart and your throat. The throat chakra makes perfect sense with this element's correlation to communication and expression, particularly verbally. I'm not sure if you've noticed this, Candace. I like to talk.
Oh, what? Really? Oh my God, shocking.
Moving on. Let's talk about the heart chakra. This is where prana lives. That's Sanskrit for our life force, energy, and breath. This isn't just literally breathing. This is about the energy, the life, and intention behind each breath, connecting us to the life and the universe around us. Also, breathing and circulating energy.
The colors to work with in regards to the air element. There are yellow and white. Yellow energizes and is bright and full of life, where a color such as white is about purity, which always makes me think of the chakra connection to the heart and the breath of life. Looking up at the sky and seeing those big white fluffy clouds, reminding myself that there is so much more to life than what I can see, and if I can continue to grow and change, perhaps my perception of those clouds will change with it. Wow, your air energy is just palpable.
I'm a palpable
Anyways,
person.
I won't go too deep into that because I've swim in a pool for a long time.
All right, so working with the air element in your own space with tangible tools and natural symbolism that might present itself to you would be drawing or painting the elemental symbol, which is a triangle with a horizontal line through the top point. You can also use smoke from incense or herbs.
Herbs such as lemongrass, peppermint, fennel, dandelion, or yarrow.
Yeah, yarrow is actually my birth flower as a Gemini. But yeah, there are so many different ones. You can also work with crystals like citrine and smoky quartz. Often if you keep a feather in your space or a fan around your incense, or just keep one on your altar or close by in your home as a reminder.
And creature totems you might start seeing more of if you begin focusing on the air element would be butterflies, birds, dragonflies. Perhaps they'll come to you naturally depending on the environment you live in, or maybe paint or draw these creatures to help you align and utilize their elemental energies. They might even come to you in dreams. Yeah, you can also just get outside and feel the wind on your face. Feel what it feels like to take up space and feel expansive. Maybe try communicating, call a friend and talk, maybe meditate or journal, maybe writing. Yes, you are allowed to communicate with yourself too. Not everyone has to listen.
No.
Not everyone has to listen to what you have to say.
We're all a work in progress. Try learning something new and try asking questions.
So why don't we do a little free flow question section here to see where we're at with this element. Follow along as well, and please comment below with your answers too. We'd love to hear where you're at with the element of air.
Okay, so the East is all about new beginnings. The element of air is all like the dawn of the sun, the sunrise. So, Candice, when you're in a situation that is a new beginning, let's say, how does that manifest for you?
New beginnings. I love change. I get impatient when there's not something changing or happening or moving. So for me, new beginnings are always really exciting. I do notice, because I've been working on these things already in my life, but I do notice that sometimes I have to ask more questions and be more vocal and sharing information. When it's on, it's on. Mm-hmm. But I can just stick inside of my own head and be more internalized. So when I'm in a situation of like newness and new changing, I definitely connect with the air part of myself and that energy, and I can be very vocal and can take up that space and be really excited about it. I love change, and I feel like when it comes, I'm very excited for it, very welcoming to it, and not scared at all.
Yeah.
Very adaptable to it, which is part of the water stuff. But I think as far as change goes, and new beginnings coming into my life, I'm always ready for it.
Yeah.
What about you?
100%. All the Geminis out there, please leave a comment. We are adaptable, changing folk. I love change. I thrive in change. I love it. Stagnation is probably like for me, when I'm doing balancing work, it often has to come around to reaching across to either like earth or water to sort of find that, because for me, I'm just like, let's go, let's change, and I'm motivated by it. I'm happy about it. I'm passionate in those moments. I love trying new foods. I like being in a new place. I love any kind of newness. It's really invigorating and exciting for me, and I feel like in my depths of myself, I feel like my most authentic self in unknown situations. Yeah.
I would say I feel like I don't necessarily know that it brings out my most authentic self, but I feel that the balance that I have with being an adaptable person and being air, I always feel like when I'm stepping into the unknown in situations, a sense of calm. You know, like I'm very, like I definitely am not saying no to an adventure, and I could step into a lot of things. And of course, unless it's like unsafe or
she's
doesn't
like
make
sold
sense.
everything and moved to across the world.
Yeah.
Like within a week's time. Like it was like
Yeah.
wild. Yeah.
And it's fine. I can move my home overnight. It's fine. Take me. Tell me to go on a train. I'm gonna go to the places. Like I'm flowing in it. Every step that I'm taking, I feel pretty grounded in that.
Yeah.
And again, I think it comes with being in a state of balance with some of the other things that I'm able to embrace.
And the confidence that comes from also being a fire sign. Like fire signs are innately have confidence and things like that. So yeah. I can see how that works out for you for sure.
Yeah, I would say so. Another aspect of air is like, because there's so much thought and different information and different things, that comes that indecisiveness and difficulty making a decision sometimes. I know for all like the Libras out there, I've dated you, I've been friends with you for many years. And they're some very indecisive. I do not have that, because I would rather just choose a choice and see what happens now versus thinking and pondering and going over and over. I like to come to decisions now and just go into it.
Yeah.
So how does that work for you as an air sign? Where are you sitting with indecisiveness in your life?
So I could probably, as medicine for myself, maybe think before I make a decision a little bit more. Like I'm not an Aquarius. I'm not the person who's like expansive minded, seeing like the large worldview picture. I'm a Gemini. It's a bit more selfish. It's a bit more like inside of my head. So I can make a decision like this, and I probably, even if it's not, I mean, I've never made a wrong decision in my life, but even if it was a decision, I could have made a better decision, let's say. am adaptable. So I've morphed it into something that is positive for me, and I can work it and I can do it. So indecisive, I'm a very decisive. I would never say I'm indecisive. Almost never.
So you're saying it's just the Libras?
Yeah.
Because honey,
damn
you know
Libras.
you're out there.
Yeah.
You can tell me I'm wrong, but like I'm telling you, I've dated for years. I have been friends since 1991.
Yeah. They are the
people
scale.
in my life. They are the scale, and it's like, what do you want to eat? How about starting with, are you hungry?
Salad?
Are you hungry? I don't know. Are you hungry? Should we eat now? It's like all the questions and all the land, and I'm like.
I mean, I walked in earlier, and I'm like, I'm hungry. Can I eat something? Like, yeah. Libras are different.
Yeah.
Love you, Libras. Love you all. I've had so many best friends. One of our best friends is
Libra. Yeah.
He's so much girl.
And both are parents.
Yeah.
Libras, all of them together.
My mom's a Libra. My dad's an Aquarius. I'm a Gemini. We're just swirling about, all of us.
So many questions.
Yeah.
I have to tune into that all the time. Like, why are you guys asking so many questions? Just let it happen.
Yeah.
I'm like, was there time for a question here?
Yeah.
Like, I was just doing stuff.
I can't wait to get to our fire video. So another great quality of all air signs is our intellect. We love learning, right? We always want to learn something. Like, for example, use myself when everything from last year happened. I'm pretty sure one of the first things I did was log in and get like degrees online and all kinds of stuff. This is like a very air sign mind. How do you feel about that? Do you like learning new things? Are you like dying for information? Where do you live on that?
I like learning new things. I wouldn't say I'm dying for information. I am definitely more of like a practical learner, and I like doing things that make sense for my life and what I'm doing now. Definitely things I'm interested in. I would say if I went somewhere and it was just like, oh wow, this person's having a talk about this or that, or someone came over to me, I'd be like, that's nice. Like if I wasn't in the mood, I could easily just be like, oh thanks, and it would really just hear and then be out there. And I wouldn't remember a single word that they said. So like I would be fine with that. Because if I really wanted the information, I would have already gone after it, or I would have paid more attention to it. Sure. So if someone's just handing me information in a conversation, if it's not that grabbing, it's momentary for me. I'm neither here nor there. I'm fine with, it's not saying that I don't want to learn, but I'm just saying I'm not like seeking out, like I don't need 7 different diplomas. I'm fine. That one will do. You know what I mean? Or like, can I do it without that? Yeah. I would rather be like, what can I do?
Practical work in.
Yeah, what can I do in my life now that would be equal to that? Should I just read these books and am I going to get the same? Like, I'm not just going to sit down and listen to some lecture for the sake of seeing what it's about. Like, I have no desire for that. So my learning comes from, it's like, I want a garden. I'm just gonna go and get seeds and like I'm gonna
figure it out.
Grow stuff, and I'm just gonna do things. It's like, what's for dinner? I open my cupboards and I'm like, well, this is what I've got. I think I like the way these things taste, and I put it all together and I'm cooking. So that's me. I'm not doing research.
And she's a
and
really good cook.
And my garden is lush as hell.
She's lush.
Honey, I'm just looking out that window at that.
She's lush.
But anyways, but for you, how is that translate for you?
Oh, I will sit in absolutely every lecture possible, and by the end of it, I'll have a handout that I've already emailed to you and your team to start integrating that knowledge, and if you don't know it yet, you can't sit with me.
Unless you're me, because I sit at the table and roll my eyes as hard as I can. And be like, oh, that sounds familiar. I think I've already done that just from simply existing.
Yeah. Every time I walk into a new conversation, I'm like, hi guys, welcome to my TED Talk.
Yeah.
All right. So why don't we take some time and we'll talk about any additional correspondences that come with the element of air.
Yeah. So another correspondence that's really important is tarot. We do a lot of tarot readings.
Yeah.
And they're great ways to even just pull a card for the day. But one of the symbols that's used in tarot is that of the sword. And the sword represents the element of air. So if you happen to be getting a reading and you are noticing you're getting a lot of swords, this is the video for you. So everything that we've been talking about correlates to that. So if you're getting a lot of sword signs, you want to think about how it's impacting your communication. If you're trying to learn something to do with like processing information or putting information out, your thought processes, maybe you're having a lot of negative thoughts, whatever the context is of your question, and also the lay of the cards. Remember the information that we spoke about today in regards to this element and how that also is correlating to the reading that you're getting. I think that's really important.
Another correspondence that's very important for the element of air is basically time. What time of day, what time of year, what energy comes along with it. So a lot of the times air is associated with dawn. It is the morning time. It is when the sun is rising in the sky. It's always new beginnings, so it is springtime. It's when all the flowers are starting to bloom. Even in moon cycles, a lot of the time it is the waxing moon at the beginning. It's all new beginnings. So if you are ever trying to work with new beginnings, if you're trying to start something, if you're trying to do some air work, usually morning time or springtime, or all of those correspondences will naturally help and aid you when you're working with air.
And lastly, the element of air is connected to the planet of Mercury.
God of communication.
Exactly. Which is also great if you're looking at your natal chart.
Yeah.
So that is a wrap on the air element. I hope you all enjoyed this as much as we did.
Yeah, and if you want to learn more about how the element of air is working or how it can be working for you, please contact us at info@arcanamindbodyspirit.com, or you could visit our website at www.arcanamindbodyspirit.com for a full list of our products and services that we offer.
Yeah, you can also reach us and keep up to date by following us on all social media platforms such as Instagram and Facebook under the same name, Arcana Mind Body Spirit. So hit that like and notification button and join us next time for another one of the 4 elements.
See you soon, Soul Circle. And don't forget,
Magic
magic
is
is real.
Bye.
Mwah. Much love.